I found a lump one night. I'm pretty religious about regular self-exams. You know, I checked myself over, and I found a lump. And so I kind of told my husband about it and said, you know, it feels off. We went to the doctor, and they suggested a biopsy. And we were actually grocery shopping, and I got a phone call. So I was in the middle of the produce department of this grocery store, and she says, your biopsy came back and it was positive for cancer. And I know that she said all kinds of other things after that, but that's all I heard.
We have it in our family, so since I've been 40 and I'm now 65, I have not missed a mammogram 1 year. I am very diligent to go. So in March of 2017, I went for my mammogram. She called me back, which is not abnormal. I get called back all the time. But this time she said, we've seen your liver light up. You know, I thought if it ever happened, I'd just go in and have a lumpectomy and then be done with it, just like everybody I knew. But that was not the case. I'm what they call stage 4 MBC, which is metastatic breast cancer, which means it has spread.
It was my daughter's senior year, our last one. We were so excited. Oh my gosh, we're having all 4 of our kids graduate high school, and we were planning a Disney trip. In the fall, I was just doing routine doctor's appointments, and I had to go get my routine mammogram that I always do, and I went and got that done, checked it off my list, and I'm heading on into a senior year. And they called me back and said, you know, I had to come back, and they saw something, and at my 52nd birthday, I got the call that I was diagnosed with breast cancer.
I'm kind of a take charge, you know, do things by a list kind of person, and I was going through my checklist, and I've got this doctor's appointment and this, and we're gonna be fine. And then I'm laying in bed one night, and I just panicked. I sat straight up in bed, and I thought, I wanna live to be a grandma. And I just completely had a breakdown for a few minutes, thinking, you know, I have 4 children, and if something happens to me, I'm gonna miss all of these events in their lives.
I guess it was when I got to where I could talk about it and I could share with other people. I just realized this is my story, and I want something good to come out of it. So from this point forward, I'm going to accept it, and if this is God's will for me, then I'm going to accept it, and I'm going to make sure that something good comes out of it. And so since then, I've started, you know, volunteering. I really like to encourage those that are coming out to the cancer center for their first or second treatment. It is the most panic-inducing moment of your life. I used to go to the front door and I'd go, okay, 1 more step and you're in the building. Take the step, you're in the building.
12 days after my first chemo, I had heard my hair was gonna fall out, but I have really thick hair, and I thought, and some of my friends were like, you've got so much hair, it's not gonna come out. And we had gone to Kansas City to see my daughter's cheer competition, and my hair started falling out in the handfuls at the cheer competition. And I was trying to keep it on my head that week, so I just put a bunch of hairspray on my hair, and I didn't really touch it. And my hair stayed on my head, and we came home, and that Monday I got in the shower, and handfuls and handfuls of hair continued to come out. And when I stepped out of the shower and I looked in the mirror, and I saw my scars across my chest and my port sticking out, and my hair was gone. I looked at the mirror and I thought, I'm a cancer patient, and that was the one of the hardest points.
When I first found out that I had cancer and I went to the cancer center, I went to the wellness center downstairs, and they were warm and welcoming, and they said, don't worry about this. You know, they give you the free wig and they style it for you, and they sign you up for the beauty class so you can learn how to do makeup, and you get a free blanket, and they kind of just welcome you in. And it's not as scary then. It's not this clinical thing. It's a lot more more comfortable, and you know you're not alone.
A tremendous amount of friends joined me celebrating my last chemo. A very special friend of mine, Joe Holcomb, who cheered with me at Oklahoma State, is a Integris employee, and he would come and visit me every chemo session. He suggested, let's do the fight song for you celebrating the end of your chemo. Cheering at OSU was so happy and fun, and it brought back a really fun time for me. And I was struggling at the time, and so it was fun to have that moment with Joe too. And but what was so crazy about the whole thing was they put it on Facebook, and then that video just went crazy and people started watching it, and I thought, why were people watching this? It was quite overwhelming for people to watch it because I was being just silly, and people commented on it, and it went viral, I guess you call it. And anyway, it was kind of encouraging to me as I would be up at night and struggling trying to complete this process. I would watch that video and see how many people watched it, and the comments and the encouragements of so many people.
I would say take your time. It's going to be a panic-induced diagnosis, of course. Take your time to absorb it and decide how you're going to handle it. And try some of these things that are outside your box. Try acupuncture, try massage, try yoga. Stay in contact with your friends. You won't probably be able to talk about it as much as you would like to at first, but it will come. And you know, cancer is a long-range thing. I was stage 4, and I've been fighting it 3 years, so I'm still here 3 years later. You can do and you can handle more than you think you can.
They need to be able to accept help and assistance. It's hard to accept help. I felt very humbled. I wanted to give help, but I needed help. To set little goals. You know, hey, at the end of this, we're going to do this. And we were planning that Disney trip, and there were some rough times during that time going through chemo, and some of the rougher times I'd say, okay, let's look on Disney's website. We bought our tickets, we did this, preparing for the day that it would be finished. And that helped, because otherwise all I focused on was the chemo and the treatment, and it was hard. I wanted to focus on other things, and so if they could focus on something else, that would really help them through it.
Well, first you have to take a deep breath, because I don't know, I held my breath and just panicked. You got to take that deep breath, and you have to allow yourself the moment to panic, but then you have to say, okay, what do I need to do next, and how do I get through this? Because if you spend the entire time focusing on the panic part, you're not going to do as well. You've got to say, I can do this, I can make it through this. And you've got to, you know, listen to your doctors and follow the steps, and, you know, just know that there is another side. You will come out the other end of this.